Jorby brought up an interesting point about Oxygen struggling with the long runs through the bracket. Well, Endpoint has had the longest run today. 4 Game 5s in a row, 2 wins, 2 losses, and now they find themselves up against a dangerous Oxygen roster. It's not going to be easy any way you dice it for either of these teams. I'm ready to see how it plays out, and Astral wants to start it off with a very pretty attempt.
Here comes Metanaris. This guy, his shooter buddy in the midfield, gets bumped. He's going to try and just do it himself. The clear comes through from Farah. And he'll look to extend it across the midfield line. 2 teammates coming in behind him. It's Virtuoso down the field. A relating wave blocked in the air. Set in the backfield. Farah in the front field. He'll get the block there. And now into an open net. Oh, the harassment from Metanaris will make sure that they don't get that breakaway goal. A close affair back and forth here in the first minute.
And Virtuoso down to the middle for Metza, wants the right side. Farah, patience and not getting antsy with the first infield cross that Gibbs was talking about. Lets his teammate do his job so he can support him from behind. And a close call, but Endpoint get away.
There comes Oxygen on the other end. Astral in the mid. Lighting wave soft touch, read by Astral, taken into the corner. Farah's all the way back. Maybe all up to Chalset. Chalset also falling back. Astral was alone in enemy territory. And now we'll see Endpoint put the ball to the other side. That's ours onto the backboard. Farah, long touch. Astral's already up for it. And he puts it onto the side wall. Gets a second touch into the corner. Now to the box. But Virtuoso with the nice leaping block gets in the way. Metanaris out of his box here. It pinches out from Farah to Astral to the top corner. Looks for the double tap. Relating wave just enough in the way. Chalset not going to be able to softly touch this one back into the box for an immediate follow-up shot. Farah will turn on this in the midfield.
And some awkward miscommunication from Oxygen there as well. I mean, they could have put a lot more pressure on, but Farah and Astral got crossed up in the midfield, and now they're having to fight for possession, and actually Endpoint squeezed this one out of their own half.
Astral with it put in it high. Farah reads it off the wall. Virtuoso will have this ball for free. And Astral reads Virtuoso's touch. Now onto the backboard. Lighting wave of the clear, and Chalset back into the corner. Metanaris up for it, trying to connect with Virtuoso on the far side. Gets it back into the midfield. Lighting wave, too little boost to make use of that pass. And here comes the counterattack. Astral onto the backboard, looking for the double tap himself. Into the box, follow up from Chalset, just too high. He was given a lot of space by the Endpoint defense, but wasn't able to use it.
Ooh, and that's a dangerous one. Metz is a little late. Astral so close, but a great cover-up. And now Virtuoso in a tight spot. Astral again right on top of things. And how about Virtuoso getting up to clear that one away? Metz making the follow-up save as well. Quick, rapid-fire shots.
Yeah, so much pressure here from Oxygen. Chalset onto the ground. There's Astral. Playing it high, relating wave into the midfield. Chalset following this one toe-to-toe. We're 1:49 left to go. Still scoreless here in game number 1. Chalset looks for Farah on the outside. Farah has to hit his brakes just to take this ball. Now Astral. Not able to make a touch. Midfield for Virtuoso. Infield pass is good. And the defense didn't manage to challenge here. First goal for Endpoint.
Relating wave. Oh my goodness. So close to getting demoed off that ball and almost spun out with someone landing under him as well. I don't even know how he managed to remain in control to get that ball out into the middle of the pitch, but that was a beautiful pass.
Well, it's been a very even defensive game. Nearly becomes a 2-goal series. How did Astral save that? He gets the second block to Farah. Gets himself a savior medal out of the goal. My goodness, the defense making it keeping it tight, keeping it close. Still just a 1-goal game and what should have been 2 goals here, Chiefs.
Big stretch and trying to get it off the wall for Astral. Unfortunate kick as it hit that corner at the top of the frame of the pitch. And Farah trying to put some pressure on the goal line. Chalset is not going to have anything here in relating wave. That is wise to not try and push that too aggressively. Let the midfield defenders come to you there and force the challenge.
Metanaris looking for a relating wave. Ball back in front. Chalset now stretching across. Astral's up for it. It's off at the corner on the touch from Virtuoso. And now Metanaris in the midfield gets it by the front line defense. onto the back line. Metanaris underneath one, over the top of him, actually bounces it off the ground, and Astral will carry it to the corner. Shawset, 20 seconds left in his own half, struggling just to even get this onto offense. Oxygen's got to find a goal here with 14 seconds remaining. That's actually going to be a nail in the coffin the other way. They couldn't break out of their half.
Metanaris, I mean, getting this one again straight out sideways and tries they might, can't cover it up. Gibbs put out the lesson, you gotta go cut it off, but trying to make the block. Shawset a little late. And a 2-0 lead with 13 seconds is the end of game one.
Gotta do your homework. It will be the end. There's not gonna be, unless this somehow pinches into the goal. There was no chance, and now the game officially going to be going to Endpoint. What is the final score line? Ball lofted high. Virtuoso is going to try and get one more. Won't even touch the ball. Endpoint take game number 1, 2-0. But it wasn't for lack of Oxygen trying.
No lack of Oxygen trying indeed. I mean, the fact that Astral, his one save was probably the nuttiest save that you were going to find in that game one that you could imagine. I have no idea how he was able to pull that one out. But Oxygen, I think they looked okay here. Just really struggling to find each other with some of the passes. That kind of limited how many opportunities that they could generate on offense throughout the course of game one. So well played to Endpoint. And I mean, I think Relating Wave did some phenomenal work to even get that first passing goal in. And try as they might, Oxygen just not able to rally back. But a good defensive showing from Oxygen. The 2 goals that got scored were absolute bangers.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. You wouldn't usually say good defensive effort from a team that just lost 2-0, because clearly they didn't have any effort on the. It's like, oh, they didn't get anything done on the offense and they failed on the defense, right? But no, like that is just how good Endpoint was shooting, and especially that one save from Astral. It's like he bounces it like off the crossbar and off the post somehow to save it, but the ball doesn't go in either time. That was wild. And then the follow-up saves from Farah as well to really keep that one down to just 1 goal. It did give them an opportunity late into the game, but the second goal eventually does creep in and put the nails in the coffin. The offensive production, like the midfield felt strong. I felt like I'm trying to think through, like replaying the game in my mind, like where was the real mistakes from Oxygen? Where is the big weakness from them? And the thing is I don't really remember any meaningful shots where they had to take that one and put it where the defense had to get tangled up with them. But either way, I think we're going to go to a quick break here. Let the players figure out a server situation. We'll be right back on the RLCSX.
When you need it most, feel the freedom of being careless, just being in love. Every
Welcome back. Had a short break there. About to get into game 2. Oxygen Esports right now trailing 1 behind Endpoint. And we talked about it a little bit before we went to break there. Chiefs, your thoughts on where things broke down for Oxygen?
Yeah, you brought up a good point about how we were struggling to initially identify what Oxygen was doing wrong. The answer was actually not much. It all came down to how well Endpoint was layering their defense when Endpoint got pushed onto their own half. It was really that support that they had from the man behind him that never allowed Oxygen to find clean passes. But oh my goodness, 10 seconds in, and Endpoint are going to find another goal here.
That's an RS nice pass, and then just not the best challenge from Chaussette. Virtuoso gets a free one.
I mean, Virtuoso, he really does go up for that ball as if he's going to rip that into the near post. And Chaussette bit real hard, and Virtuoso just flipped the other way and let him go right by.
Chaussette with some monster blocks on the second kickoff. Keep that ball at midfield. Now into Farah, back to Chaussette, onto the backboard. He's got a full tank of boost, double tap in, rollating wave from the corner makes the save. 4:30 left to go, 30 seconds in, and finally Oxygen really starting to get the offense popping.
Ooh, relating wave, a little feels backflip there. And they are definitely going to have to give up possession. Oxygen can make some of this with that bump that they got. Astro wants the double tap. Metza is in trouble, turns around and makes the block. Chaussette was there for it, but Endpoint dig themselves out of a ditch.
Yeah, I mean, how often can you say Astral straight misses a double tap? Got onto the backboard, just didn't have the second touch. Now Virtuoso looking for Metanaris in the midfield. What's onto the backboard? Virtuoso's there, blocked at the point of contact. Chaussette gets in his way. Now Astral, long ways down the pitch. Chaussette with the redirect, just barely wide of the net. Now Endpoint advancing all 3 players in enemy territory.
And Oxygen, they're getting dangerously close to catching Endpoint one step too far forward. And that's nice support from Metza. And there's that layering that we talked about right before that game started. Astro with a decent approach into the midfield, but just understanding where the opposition is and going out and getting in front of those passes is really paying dividends for Endpoint so far.
Rollating wave. Plays this one across midfield. Farah chips up. Metanaris with a response. He'll hold on to this. Hover behind the ball.
That's
comes
amazing.
up to pinch it. Oh my goodness, no way. 2-0 Endpoint.
Oh, Virtuoso is so smart. He knows Metz is coming, but Chaussette thinks he's defending a pinch or just a delayed touch, and you combine that with the demo that just happened in the right side. Oh, how about Metanaris?
Yeah.
That was amazing.
The big brain to hang behind the ball, too. Just perfectly stay hovered there. Neutralize their ability to take over control. Set up Virtuoso. Maybe sort of pinch it with him there. My goodness, 2-0. Endpoint gonna take a lead. Chaussette, relating wave out to Virtuoso. Pass into Metanaris out of the corner. Metanaris puts it on target and Astral covers it up. They bamboozled the 2 defenders, but they couldn't deal with all 3 of them. 2-0 Endpoint right now. Oxygen looking strong on the back line. It's similar situation to game number 1. Their defense looks fine, despite the fact that they're losing and haven't scored.
Yeah, they just can't put together that offensive drive. You can see Chaussette driving around on that Endpoint goal line, trying to find some demos and open up some gaps because, again, Astral doesn't have much to do here. Chaussette's in position, but how do they handle this? He goes for the fake, and Metza sticks right with it.
Metanaris, smart plays on both sides of the ball. Right now, Chaussette trying to set up Astral here in the corner. All 3 players on the backboard. Farah does emerge with control, so it won't matter, but still, he's starting to wonder, is Oxygen panicking a bit? Again, at 2-2 right now in the standings, you lose this series. You don't get to play next weekend. This is it.
And it would be a sweet feeling for Endpoint as well, who have had the longest of days today. Like we said, 4 series all going to game 5 to go up 2-0 here and feel pretty confident in their chances.
Man, can you imagine playing 5 games every series and then getting reverse swept in the final one?
Oh my God! Don't even say it, Wade. That's
I don't know. I kind of want to see it happen just because the meltdown would be amazing. Virtuoso now in the corner. Relating wave in the goals. Metanaris will take care of this one over the top of midfield. And Astral left in his backfield will pick up control. Gets it over the top of one and into the midfield before being demolished. But with 1 minute left to go in the game, down by 2. Right now, Oxygen being completely shut out. It's been 9 minutes of no goals for them this series. Virtuoso looking for a third. Didn't put it into the goal just yet.
Man, that really is what it is. Endpoint just has great timing and support for each other on that midfield line. It's making it so hard for Oxygen. They're doing a nice job at least making the first challenger think and maybe get it through them, but it's that second man that is being so well played from Endpoint right now.
Second man, one of the hardest roles in Rocket League. Endpoint's definitely doing it very well. Losing a challenge isn't really important when you play the second man correctly. As Virtuoso gets this one away. Metanaris not going to make contact, but the damage already done. Clock going to expire, and that will be Endpoint taking a 2-game lead in the series. And they will take them 2-0 both games. But yeah, I think you bring up an excellent point here. The first challenge, they can be loose on, they can be aggressive on, because if they lose it and the second man is positioned well behind where he can take over control of that ball, the challenger who wins a 50-50 generally does, there's a small window of time where they lose control of the ball. If the second man is positioned correctly behind them, they can take over that play, and it doesn't actually matter that the challenge wasn't won by their team. So yeah, I do think that's a huge part of why Endpoint's doing so well right now.
And the only reason that gets fixed is because Oxygen isn't playing tight enough support on offense as well. I mean, you see teams like Vitality, they can play real tight with each other, and that is why they're so quick to follow up plays. So even if they get that great layering on defense, Vitality's right there challenging at it right again, and that's what makes Vitality so hard to beat when they turn that particular type of aggression on, because if you've got a real close support with you on offense who can react and make a difficult follow-up after you poke the ball over one, then you start beating defenses. But I'm just not sure that that's the style of play that Oxygen likes. And that is playing well into Endpoint's hands, because Endpoint is just sitting back and seeing the results of whatever comes their way.
Harvesting the fruits of their labor. As here comes the first goal, finally, after 10 minutes and 16 seconds, we'll see Oxygen on the board.
Astral. Now that is a excellent read on where that clear is going. Popped it right back into the middle. Farah, required pinpoint precision. Someone from Endpoint was coming out to meet him. Just able to lift it around in a perfectly placed ball.
Ooh. Oh, they're gonna get two. Josette gets this one. Kickoff goal of sorts. Takes a fortunate bounce out of the corner. And now Oxygen up by 2.
Shawsette, great vision, looking for Astral. A very fortunate pinch, goes down instead of straight out or out at a random direction, and Shawsette able to make the read. Quick 2-0 for Oxygen. Now that is what you like to see if you're a fan of Shawsette, Astral, and Farah.
Their backs are against the wall. They've got to win 3 games straight, but this is an excellent way to start the first one. Shawsette into the midfield. Metanaris is now looking for Relating Wave on the far side. Endpoint has managed to score 2 goals every game of this series.
Oh, is that their plan? They're just going to have Astral just go full bore ball chase? Oh my goodness.
He gets the third one.
Astral dives at that one in the corner. Doesn't even think about it. Metza expecting a touch off the backboard, maybe a shot into the back post. A little bit of hesitation from Astral, saving that flip for a moment longer. Drops it into the back post.
Well, Endpoint now down by 3. They now have their hands full. They've got a lot of time still, and those 3 goals in the first minute. We just hit 4 minutes on the clock. Endpoint's got plenty of time to come back into this, but they can't afford a 4th goal going in, and it might happen right here. Astral shot just wide, and Virtuoso to turn on this ball, played up against Farah. Relating Wave to Virtuoso in the corner. He's got Metanaris in front of him. Relating Wave now back. Astral dumps it to the midfield. Virtuoso will bump away the shooter. They'll try to keep this pressure on. Endpoint's did an excellent job in both games 1 and 2, trapping the ball in the Oxygen half. hasn't necessarily turned into a menagerie of goals, but now into the box. Relating Wave gets this one away despite Virtuoso getting demolitions on Astral. A few demolitions coming on both sides. Relating Wave will put it into a corner. Astral's going to try and challenge this one again, see if the ball chasing can continue to work. Wow.
And you see that real tight offensive support coming through for Oxygen now, because it feels like they are right on the heels of every ball. Look at Astral. I mean, you want Astral to be in that second position now on the offensive side for Oxygen, because he has no reservations about being aggressive and trying to put the pressure on defense. You don't want Astral trying to open the door here. You need to have faith that Shawset and Farah can get that job done versus these guys and let Astral beat the defense.
Relating Wave stops the ball in the midfield. Virtuoso's up for it. And after a wild first minute of 3 goals for Oxygen, make it 4! Shawset will put it in right at halftime.
Wow. Hello, Oxygen. Welcome back to life. I mean, Relating Wave's just in a tough spot there. He can't really make that first challenge because Astral has him beat, so he has to hope he gets a favorable bounce. That doesn't go his way either. And to make it worse, his teammate coming out of the goal also made the improper read. So 4-0, and I think you can call Game 3 a wash.
Yeah, it's down by 4 with halftime left to go. This one definitely looking over, and they might make it a 5. Now it's definitely over. Farah gonna come alive, and I mean, dude, the first minute, the game was pretty much over after the first minute.
Yeah, pretty much. You could have called it done at least. You don't feel like anything's gonna happen here. Just a missed touch from one of the Endpoint players on that sidewall. Virtuoso, I think, trying to get that into the corner, but didn't hit it the way he wanted it and ended up in a weak pass. So, I mean, I have to confess, I am shocked here by Oxygen's total pivot on how they approach the game here in Game 3. I really did not think that this was a style of offense that they like to play or were really capable of. And Endpoint are going to get one back right here, but kudos to you guys for the big swap.
Yeah, no, well done from Oxygen to rally up when they needed to. Though, it's interestingly, statistically, I'm pretty certain the stats back me up on this. I did some math on it a few seasons ago. The game that the losing team wins the most often, I believe, is Game 3. Because you have the team that is better winning Game 1 and then winning Game 2. And Metzenars, no, don't. Okay, it looked like it was in. I think it was almost on goal.
Don't do it.
They'll win games 1 and 2, and then they loosen up a little bit because they have such a room for error. And Game 3 will be the one where the team that is now losing by 2 knows they have to win, so they are playing their absolute best Rocket League. It's the blend of one team playing their absolute best and one team relaxing the most. And then in Game 4, they'll light it back up, and Endpoint could take this one away. But, so I don't feel like this Oxygen we're seeing right now is going to be playing the Endpoint we're seeing right now in Game 4. It's going to be a new era, a new system. But we might get a Brazil here, which would be pretty cool.
You might. And if Farah is able to pick his spots like he does here, I mean, when you've got 2 defenders crisscrossing the net like that, and you can still recognize that gap is going to be back post, oof, that's a killer instinct.
Well, now I'm just hoping for the 7th goal. 1 minute left to make it happen. Relating Wave with the soft touch. Virtuoso into the corner. Onto the backboard, and Astral to take it away. Now Relating Wave trying to play spoiler here. Getting up, Metzenaris couldn't put the goal in. Runs to the defense. Virtuoso, nice placement, but Astral well positioned in his box. Look at the save. Shawset not quite there. Farah gets it away. Out to Astral. Oh, Metzenaris intercepts the pass.
You start to see Endpoint making those adjustments now because they recognize Oxygen turned it up a couple notches. You can see Metza getting even more aggressive there in the midfield to try and match the speed of Oxygen.
Back and forth, both teams getting demolitions. 30 seconds left. Shawset places it well. Relating Wave in the way. Farah up for it. Beats Virtuoso. Astral, strange initial launch on that flight. With 17 seconds left. Last moments. Astral with the miss. Relating Wave not going to make it happen. And Farah off to the edge. Shawset looking to challenge in, but the ball gets played well to the corner. Shawset now up to Astral. Soft touch, and the third man too far back. Farah not going to be there. Won't get a Brazil in game number 3, but Oxygen is on the board. We'll see how it goes in game 4.
A shellacking here in game 3. That's one of the fun words that you get to use to describe a game like this. Also, wake up call is the other one. because, whoa boy, talk about getting everything flipped on its end there. Oxygen started out hot. Astral with 4 assists and a goal. Insane performance from him.
Yeah, no, Astral definitely was the key here. You talked about them just sending him full force into the offense and just let him do what he's going to do. We'll clean up on the other sides, and they did, absolutely. 3 goals from Farah, 2 from Chaussette there. 5 shots from Chaussette, but most of the action was performed and produced by Astral. So we'll see if they're able to keep it up here in game 4. This is the game that's the question for me. Honestly, in a series like this, I expected Oxygen to win game 3. The question is, game 4, does Endpoint manage to quell them back, corral them back, or is Oxygen actually opening up here in a new way and actually paying attention? I mean, it's like, where is the attention deficit here? We know both these teams can play neck and neck. It's just a matter of who's going to be bringing it more here in game 4.
Yeah, it really is just a question as well if Oxygen have the same approach, you know, because it was good that they had, I believe it was a lot of times Chaussette able to win the possession initially, get through that first guy, but it was that follow-up from Astral that was so tough to deal with from the Endpoint perspective. So you're in this game, you can't afford to change the game plan if you're Oxygen. You won 6-1, so you got to keep finding ways to beat the defense here. And when you get Astral in that first slot position, I think they lose a lot of that quick follow-up. But that doesn't stop the demos from coming through. Chaussette with, let's be honest, not the world's greatest shot here from the midfield line. But it doesn't matter if Astral is able to get in there and give Metanoris a little love tap and help him on his way out of the goal line.
And it does not matter at all if there's nobody to defend it. As long as it's on target, it'll be good. And Oxygen, after blasting out to a 3-goal lead in the first minute of game 3, take the lead here in game 4. Oh my goodness, and they get a save to hold on to it. Related Wave looking for the double tap, covered up by Farah. Both saves come from the captain. And now Astral back to the way, looking for the counterattack. Into the corner. Up against Metanoris through 1, and now try to get it through 2. Chaussette will win the challenge more or less, but Relating Wave will cover it up as he takes control. Metanoris going for the boost steal. Takes it away. Here's Virtuoso to the far post. Both goalies go for it. His shot is wide. Metanoris will try to turn it back in for Relating Wave, but he bumps into Farah in the midfield, and this will just kind of open up all sorts of chaos. Virtuoso now into the corner. Relating Wave not quite sure who's supposed to go for it here, and nobody touches the ball. Farah back in front of the box. What a small touch from Virtuoso, but it's so important to block that second goal from going in. And now the counterattack on the other end. It was all Metanoris. Nobody else there to help him. We'll slow down for just a moment.
Ooh, not yet, though. This is dangerous, actually. Virtuoso looking for Metza. Doesn't have the cleanest approach. Needs to get it back middle. Chaussette with a soft save, and Astral, thankfully uncontested at the midfield line, able to find a clear for Oxygen, but it was about to get dicey, and a huge block comes through from Relating Wave at the midfield line.
Relating Wave trying his best. Virtuoso bumped in the enemy corner. Relating Wave just takes the shot, defended by Astral. The defense continues to hold for Oxygen. Metanoris pass across Relating Wave. And a read of his life from Farah.
Oh no.
Relating Wave maybe trying to catch the pinch pass. Now what is happening for Endpoint? Back in front of the box. How are they not getting scored on right now? Metanoris now into the midfield up against Farah. Off to the edge. Is anyone home? Relating Wave thought about it, but had to hang back as he was the last man. He'll get it off to the corner. Farah passed 1. Metanoris now really caught in this awkward situation, but Relating Wave off the edge, and finally Metanoris will get to touch it.
Chaussette, there we go. Just get that ball through the midfield, and how about Virtuoso going for the hero redirect? Farah needs to control this ball, though, because Oxygen really not set, and he does an excellent job finding his teammate.
Now Chaussette to the goal. Metanoris off the far post. Got 1, bumps Astral off of it, but Farah's already up for it, pinches off the wall, and both players from Oxygen. Yeah, they both peel off there. You'd expect one of them to take a shot. Relating Wave into the middle. Farah bounces it off the wall, but again, both his teammates in their own back third. A miss on the wall could open it up. Metanoris couldn't get just enough above the ball to put that one under the crossbar. Farah off the backboard, goes back to midfield. Metanoris put it high. She'll set out to the edge. Oh, the breaks from Virtuoso. Got it behind another one. It's not going to drop directly in. It's going to need some help here. But this is a good start from Endpoint, trying to come back in this game. 1:47 on the clock. Only 1 goal separating these teams. Metanoris up, and Farah gets in his way. Now Virtuoso backing out.
Oh, it's a stretch.
Relating Wave. He looks for the double tap. Now up for it. Oh, the cover up, the redirect from Astral sends it to the empty corner. And Metanoris now beaten by 1. but no other help there for Oxygen. They won't get the second goal.
And Relating Wave doing a nice job just to pick up that corner boost because he knew he didn't actually have a chance at that ball with Astral bearing down on him. And fortunately, Astral playing at the corner of the box and a nice little soft touch from Virtuoso to beat the defense. And Endpoint still not out of it.
Oh no, Virtuoso gets a stop there. Metzenar's gonna try and challenge it, but here comes the rest of Oxygen back in front of the box. Relating Wave puts it high. Metzenaris, he just needs to find a good clear here. Endpoint getting so trapped. Oxygen genuinely playing different Rocket League than we saw in games 1 and 2, as they have been able to get an absolute siege in enemy territory. But now an open net. Chaussette has space with the ball, misses contact. Relating Wave onto the back wall. They're looking for the tie. Back in front, cleared away by Astral. Metzenaris out to Relating Wave. And Relating Wave has been having some very wide rotations these past few minutes. And this one might finally go in. No, Relating Wave does get up and make the save. Virtuoso now looking for the counterattack. He's got half a tank of boost. And Astral gets in his way, takes it away from him. Final 30 seconds.
Oh, Metza needs to control this ball, and he got spun out on the wall. And Chaussette's so late. What is going on?
Here comes Virtuoso Astral. Got through one. Chaussette Relating Wave nearly got the bump there. But Oxygen, 7 seconds left. Pass down to Virtuoso, blocked! Astral got in the way. That one should do it. Relating Wave will try to carry it off his own backboard and back into midfield, but Farah will straight up kill it. Oxygen rally back in the critical game 4. We're going to game 5.
You have summoned the bad mojo, Wave. You said it back in game 1 or game 2. I'd love to see Endpoint go up 2-0. And then get reverse swept. Well, you're on the brink.
Can you imagine? Oh, the tilt would be insane. Oxygen, I'm not gonna, like, here's the thing. I don't know what happened to Relating Wave in that game. There was multiple times I felt like this is his touch to make, and he hesitated, didn't drift turn into it, took I've got time to get to this ball, and you did not have time. Oxygen is playing faster. They have gotten warmed up. They have literally in 5th gear right now, going 120 miles an hour. You've got to play your fastest. I feel like Relating Wave left a little bit to be desired.
Yeah, it was kind of a tough situation for a lot of Endpoint, I think, in this game overall, because it felt to me like Endpoint still trying to figure out how to match the pace with which Oxygen were playing from game 3, and it came back right here in game 4, and now they're trying to figure out, okay, we can't afford to sit and wait back, but we know we need to go and make the challenges. So they were making that adjustment and putting on the pressure as much as they could, but they were really straining themselves, I think, to have enough boost and be confident in their position and to play that aggressively. So it left a lot of extra space. And that meant that while they were rotating back to try and get more boost to keep pressure on, they were also trying to make the perfect touch because they knew they couldn't afford a mistake, which led to a little bit of extra time in some spots.
Well, we'll move on to Champions Field. Game 5, this one for all the marbles and to send you through to next weekend. And a start from Metzenaris. They hadn't scored the entirety of last game, and they get the first goal here. Endpoint's up.
Hard pass to Relating Wave, puts the pressure on the goalies, freezes them on the goal line, still requires a perfect shot because they can still get to just about anywhere, and Metza nails it under the crossbar.
Metzenaris shifting his Octane loadout. And there's the save, a follow-up shot from Astral, defended by Relating Wave. The smallest little touch of Virtuoso now off the ceiling here. Gets the flip reset, or was able to save his flip and use it late. Metzenaris now challenging Astral with the counter. Virtuoso up for it, beaten by Chaussette. Farah wants to move up, but just can't as Relating Wave pushes it off to the side. There's no immediate development, though, from that touch. Now we'll see it back down. Metzenaris rocking the Sherpa, the old standby decal of many professional Rocket League players had been rocking the Llama decal up until this point. Brings it out for good luck here in game 5.
And you know, this is actually a very peculiar spot to be in for Endpoint. Game 5 up 1-0 with just about 3.5 minutes remaining because they got that nice early goal. So now they know they don't have to stretch themselves too thin to try and fight back, but they can't afford to allow Oxygen to transition for free. So this is a very interesting minefield for them to navigate here because they know Oxygen will be coming at them full bore. So how much do you give in terms of aggression and letting off to make sure you're safe. That's a big miss and a huge cover-up from Astral.
Yeah, excellent play, rotating back in. But I am a little worried for Oxygen here, not having the lead. We've only seen them win games where they were leading at the start, where they scored first. And the games from Endpoint, where they've had the lead, they've been able to hunker down, not give them challenges, just play a strong second man, and the lack of the pressure of needing to score seemed to be the difference maker. Metzenars with a save, Virtuoso with the clear, and now Chaussette, can he get this pass back in? He gives it straight to Virtuoso, who booms it to the midfield. Astral with a counter, looks for a second touch, but this one a little bit nullifying anything his teammates could do. Now Farah up for it, off the backboard, one of the double tap follow from Chaussette, covered up by Virtuoso, and beaten in the midfield, demolished for his efforts, but the damage is already done.
Oh, but Astral, you can see him. He is waiting as the third man because he knows, he can feel it. Endpoint is going to give him something, and all he has to do is keep the pressure on. But now he just gives up possession here, and Chaussette one-on-one, and mercifully, Virtuoso caught too much of that ball on transition.
Relating Metzenaris come back down. Chaussette to Astral on the cherry pick. Relating Wave blocks the shooting lane. Farah stops one. Relating Wave and Chaussette meet at the sky. Astral to pick up control. It's Oxygen looking for the touch. There it is, over to one. Bumps it through two. Can he find the pass? Virtuoso somehow stays with this after being absolute just brutalized. Now Relating Wave back into the box once more. Farah looks for the goalies. Gets a bump on one. Chaussette just needs the fine control we've seen from him many times and puts it too high. Now Metzenaris back down the field to Astral. Lots of space. Punts it for Farah. He's up for this one. Chaussette demolished in the midfield will relieve some pressure, and here comes Astral from the far side. And this one actually goes out to Chaussette and spawned in the far corner. 1:20 left to go on the clock. Still a one-goal game. Endpoint leading and trying to take the series.
Farah and Chaussette flagging a little bit. Put in two different situations where they need to nail it perfectly. Astral tries to show him how it's done. Relating Wave up to the crossbar to make the save. Everyone pulled out of net. Here's Astral, and that is cleared. Relating Wave, you said he left something on the pitch in game 4. Well, it's back for game 5. Huge saves.
It's still on the backboard. Relating Wave with a miss. The follow-up's good. Chaussette scores. We're tied up in the final minute.
I cursed him. I said he's playing so well. Now he's got to make the clear facing the wrong way. He undershoots it, and Chaussette made him pay.
Let's be fair to Relating Wave there. Things fell apart well before he missed that touch. The defense got beaten multiple times, and the fast, tight rotations from Oxygen get them right back into this game. We're all tied up, and it's going to be coming down to a silver goal at this point. Long-range shot from the corner, covered up by Astral. He was up for that very quickly, and a win from Chaussette will buy them a little bit more time. A demolition on the Farah, though. It's all up to Astral now. As he gets one stop, follow from Relating Wave is wide, and there's the clear out of the corner on the respawn.
And you can see Astral really taking care to not overtouch the ball here and let it get away from him. Oxygen very much aware of how delicate this situation is late in the game where you're kind of strapped for boost and they're shoving. And you can see them really trying to take their time.
Final 10 seconds. Relating Wave through the air, over the top of one. Guillotines drop in. Shot come through. No executioner home.
He can do it. He can do it.
It's open. Astral the far side. He drops it. Oh, what were you doing? Overtime in game 5. Let's go.
He was trying to push it to Farah because Astral knew he wasn't going to beat the defender to his right, so he needed Farah to score the ball, and he mistimed it.
Follow-ups. Close here. Oxygen in overtime. Next goal goes through to the playoffs. We're in the corner, Farah. Up against Metzenaris. Through two. They had the 2-game lead, and now the win in overtime. No! Astral comes off the ceiling to save it. We'll keep going.
Not done, Chaussette. This is a very awkward approach for Oxygen, and Astral is paying dividends out of the midfield.
37 seconds in. Here's Virtuoso for another game-winning shot. It's dropping, still dangerous. Needed 2 saves to take care of that shot. Chaussette gets the pinch off. It's just wide of the goal, and Metzenaris will clear it away from any follow-up. Ferris trying to read this, but gets beaten by Virtuoso on the backboard. Astral will stall it out in the midfield and follow through with a few touches to put it back into the corner. There's Chaussette now back in. Ferris too far back, playing overtime positioning, always leaving a man back in his third. And Metzenaris now on this backboard. He's got to dribble it cleanly. He's going to meet Astral on the other end. Now Chaussette rotating out, leaving space for Farah. Astral looking for the bumps on a relating wave, doesn't find much.
And ironically enough, it feels like we have now swapped positions from how the series started. It is Oxygen waiting back on their own half, waiting to see how Endpoint approach, but the demos come through on the goal line. Relating wave turns it into the left side. Astral could not retain possession here. Straight into relating wave. And Chaussette try as he might off the inside of the post and into the net.
So close. Absolutely so close. The ball was going in anyways. Not really an own goal from Chaussette, but the pinch pass and relating wave gonna put in a goal. Oh my, we did say game 4 maybe left a little bit to be desired. He brought it all out in game 5, put the team on his back, and Endpoint will not get reverse swept. They will play in the European Fall Major playoffs.
And Gibbs said he wanted to see Oxygen go to 2-2 and fight through it. Gonna have to wait for split 2. They fall short. 1 goal. So close on what was honestly an incredible comeback. Loved the complete change of pace. They looked great. Just came down to one good play or another, and it fell Endpoint's way.
We talked about the long day from Endpoint, that they went to game 5 every series. I mean, Oxygen went to game 4 at least every series. They went to game 4 in their first 3 series and then got beaten in overtime game 5 in round 4, and then beaten in overtime game 5 in round 5. The poor young men not going to be playing in the playoffs next week. A heartbreaker for them. What a difficult weekend, but valiant efforts from both sides. What a series that was.
It was a lot of fun to watch. Endpoint, I feel like every time you and I cast Endpoint, we always get an incredible series. And I don't know why, but it's always a good one. It's a shame about Oxygen, but you can't win them all. And Endpoint continue to show that despite what they saw wavering in Regional 2, come back, make the grand finals in Regional 3. Well, now they've made the bracket here for the major. So well done, Team Endpoint. You deserve it.
Absolutely. We'll see them next weekend. And also on the other side of our broadcast partners, Giants Gaming, able to take the win. They will play in the playoffs, which leaves just 1 match left for the day. Barca going to be taking on Guild Esports. It's been a crazy story for both teams so far today. We'll find out how that match goes after the break.